morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Tuesday, the 15th day of October, 2024. Tuesday of the 28th week of the year, the 28th week in Ordinary Time, is also the day in which we honor the second Theresa in the calendar. This is Theresa of Avila. This is the great mystic, the great reformer of the Carmelite movement. Again, Theresa of the Infant Jesus was also a Carmelite, but not really a great reformer. Theresa of Avila is trying to bring the Carmelites in the 1500s, I believe it was, 1500s, back to their origin, back to their understanding of themselves, again, as a contemplative community that is built upon prayer, upon care for others, and upon the understanding of the dynamic of God's presence and God's love in our life. And so Theresa does that. She meets with a lot of resistance because the original rule for the Carmelites was a bit more strict than what they were observing, and of course nobody wants to have more strictness in their life, and so there's a lot of people who are opposing her. But she tries and does not stop trying, and eventually she will be successful in what she's trying to do in reforming her order, reforming the communities in which she was residing. It is morning carpool once again here at the Franciscan School. I am back from the island. We have our Cracker Jack security guards right over here, our fifth graders, basically making sure that people can be feeling welcome coming into morning here at TFS, as well as being safe in exiting their cars and things like that as we begin the day. So as morning carpool continues to unfold, our readings for today, special readings for Theresa if you're going to celebrate her as she is, but it's also we also continue with the regular readings today because most people hear those anyway. So Galatians, again, Paul making the kind of final statement, because again, circumcision was that thing that identified you most especially as a member of God, as a member of God's family and part of in the relationship with God. And Paul again is going to great lengths because his mission is expanding beyond the Jewish people into the non-Jewish speaking world in the Roman Empire, and so circumcision is a terrifying thing, so they don't really want to experience that. And so Paul basically says it's not about, good morning, there's our student council, it is not about circumcision, it's not about allegiance to the law anymore, it is about faith. It is about faith and how faith is expressed primarily through love. That's always the important thing, is to remember that we are people of faith, not people of rules and regulations, not a people of laws and restrictions, not a people of all kinds of limitations on what we are as a creation of God, as human beings. But we are people called to love and never stop loving, and to continue to love, even when it seems difficult and ridiculous, even when it seems absurd, to never stop loving, because that is faith in action. It is not accomplished by how many prayers we make and how many things that we do in our lives, but it's always about us trying to be loving people. In the who else is over there? In the gospel today, we have Jesus being perhaps the worst dinner guest you could ever expect to have happen come to your house. He does not wash his hands, which is kind of a little bit rude and things like that. But again, he's trying always to make a point, and so basically he says, more of our student council is behind me again. You are already famous. You are already famous. Jesus doesn't wash his hands, and one of the Pharisees at the Pharisee at whose house he's at basically asks him why he doesn't do that, and then Jesus launches into this tirade about how all you care about are the externals, and it's like you leave dirt and filth inside of you, and all kinds of things like that. And again, yes, making the point where many of the Pharisees were more concerned with the externals, again, with all of the devotions and to the law and things like that, and we're not living life that was based upon love and upon understanding. This Pharisee who invites Jesus to dinner may have been trying to do that, and Jesus, unfortunately, again, having one of his bad days, basically says, it's more about that good morning, and so it's important for us again to remember, again, that our lives are not based upon rules and regulations. Our lives are not based upon how much we can perform according to these rules and regulations, but our lives are based upon law and nothing more. Our lives are based upon love, nothing more, nothing less than love. Always love. Nothing stops us from being able to love. Nothing stops us from being able to trust in love. Nothing stops us from being able to be faithful in love. That is the greatest example of who and what we are as believers in this world, and the greatest example of what it means for us to give witness to those who are in especially need of knowing how powerful love is. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. Farewell from Morning Carpool. Good morning, everybody. May the Lord give you his peace.